Order in the court. Okay, we the people versus some angry children that have been whose stepmother bamboozled them out of their father's estate. And so they wrote, how do I start an investigation against my mother-in-law? My mother-in-law changed my dad's will while under opiates and muscle relaxers and cut me and my sister out, worth probably $250,000. Okay. And I don't think is this your mother-in-law? This is probably your stepmother, right? I would assume. Okay? If not, this is basically how you do it regardless. If you don't believe a will is valid, then you probate the will and you challenge it. Once you kick that will out, the law of heirship picks up and then you will get your shit. Okay? So you got to kick that will out. You've got to get that will invalidated, okay? And get it declared bullshit by the courts. That's basically it. So you challenge the will, okay? I don't know if she's moved to probate this will, but in order for her to transfer property and stuff, she would have needed to, unless she was just a outright beneficiary to everything. So if the will is in probate, you need to intervene in that particular case, and you need to challenge their will. Say that it's bullshit and why and how you know. Okay? People can get handwriting specialists. You can get medical records to prove that your father was not in his right mind when that will was executed. Once you start to challenge and attack a will, then these things start opening up to you. You can get court orders to access these records. And even if you can't access them, a court can always get them, and the judge can access them and do what we call an in-camera view. And the judge can look at the medical records in camera and determine whether or not they should be released to you because they contain information that you should be using in this case. Okay? So basically what you're telling me is that my daddy was crazy and going, he was mentally, things were going wrong with him. And so she was allowed to persuade him to change his will when he was not in his right mind because she was on drugs. Okay? Medical records will always show when a person started to lose their mind or when they were diagnosed with dementia or any other mind altering diseases. The doctors tell them. Now, people be to known that shit a long time before they tell you. A lot of times, people get diagnosed with dementia and shit, and they never tell their family. They will have known 5 years or 10 years before they started declining, or 7 years or 3 years before they started declining. And you all don't know when they started declining and at what rate. But their medical records are going to show that shit. Okay, their doctors have seen this shit, and they have known and they have told them. The family has not told you. The family member, has not told you. It is very probably what happened was that he began declining early. Okay? You all didn't know the point in which he was declining. She might have known or may not have known herself. You need to get the medical records to prove that he was not in his right mind when that will was executed and changed. And you can prove that. If the doctors have given a diagnosis and there were different things that were occurring or different medications that were being given, you can move to prove that will should be invalidated and kicked out. And that the law of heirship should take over and you should be getting what the fuck you supposed to get. Got it? So you're going to have to jump in the probate, okay? If it is a probate, and if not, you're going to have to just file an heirship. File an heirship against her. She's going to argue that there's a will, and when she tries to do that, you come in and challenge the will. Okay? Am I making sense? Right? That's what we have to do. And you're probably going to have to get a lawyer. This is not something that you can probably do on your own. But you need to get that money. Okay? Get that money. Next case.